here we are, 2020. It's the new year, it's the new decade. And this is like the time of year where everyone is thinking, goals and resolutions and big dreams and visions and, trying to get new habits, trying to get back on track if we got off track, or stay on track if we are on track. And we're talking about the concepts like focus and renewal and attention and all of this stuff, dropping old grudges, letting go of things, picking up new things. But one of the things that the ideas and concepts that have really been hitting me from a couple different angles is the power of alignment. And that one of the most powerful things that we can do as creators to actually get where we're trying to go as fast and as frictionless as possible is to just be in a state of alignment. And the converse of that is that one of the most costly things that we can do is to be unaligned. Now, what do I mean by alignment? Well, I'm talking about alignment of thoughts, of words, and of deeds. So like thoughts, like the self-talk, the things we tell ourselves, what we think about, our mindset. Words like, what do you say out loud? What do you What do you say to other people? What do you write? What do you put out into the world? And then deeds, like what are you actually doing? How are you spending your time, etc. And so, an easy example of the power of alignment or unalignment might be, like this is just the most simplistic example that everyone will nod their head to, is like if your vision or goal is that you lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months, but you think every day, well, I'm fat, and you're saying that to yourself every day. And you say out loud, you can keep saying, I need to lose weight, I need to lose weight. And you're just saying that out loud, but then your actions are that you like sit on the couch and binge eat. Like that's a clear example that your thoughts, your words, and your actions aren't in alignment with your vision, right? Now, the flip side of that is like, if you think instead, I'm becoming the kind of person that makes good, healthy eating habits, or if you're thinking I'm going to move today, like those kind of thoughts. And if you say at the beginning of each day, like what you're going to do to move closer to that goal, and then you actually go and do that thing, well, that's in alignment, and you're going to be, more likely to see those results. So that's the easy example. But what I've sort of found is that most of the time we get a lot of uneasy or unobvious examples. And I want to give just a brief example in my own world, because I have some big visions for my company and my creative work and the stuff that I do. Big visions for Comics Tribe, big visions for Comics Launch, big visions for this community, big visions for everything. And so, as 2019 was rolling around, I was sort of executing them on a pretty steady pace and was having a good year. And then, a few months ago, my old boss reached out to me. I used to work full-time as a video game designer and content developer. And my old boss has sort of pulled up his own shop and got a contract. And he basically reached out to me to say he had this new contract, and he wanted to see if I could come on and help him out. And it was like a contract position, part-time, hourly, but it would involve some writing and some implementation and a bunch of stuff. And he asked if I was interested in it. And my gut told me, thanks, but no thanks. And I saw that, it's not aligned with my vision, not aligned with where I'm going. And I already at the time, with the work and the super active about to be 2-year-old and all of my other commitments and existing things, I felt like I was maxed out with current commitments and the future projects that I had lined up for what I was excited to do next. So that was all sort of there. But on the flip side, I wanted to help him out. It had been a while since I had done some content writing, and so like the idea of getting paid to write, like that's the dream for a lot of people, right? So why isn't it my dream? And then also, obviously, like the hourly rate he was offering me was the same as when I was working full time, which is pretty solid. And I knew my wife would be happy if I suddenly surprised with about 5 to 7K in extra. Extra bonus money, right? Which is what the total contract was going to be worth. And so, I weighed those two things and I told him, okay, sure, I'll do it. And even though it wasn't that many hours, right? Even though it wasn't that many hours, I suddenly found myself spending some of my most productive hours of the day researching stuff that was like a one-off thing that's going to be of no long-term value. Found myself banging my head against new software tools that I wouldn't use after this contract. And I found myself attending these meetings like all the time in the middle of the day, and having to block out different sections in the middle of the day to meet with these teams and go back and forth on this stuff, which was causing me to sort of stop and start and context switch. And so it wasn't just the hour that for the meeting, it was like ruining the hour before and the hour after. And within a month of saying yes to this, I had the worst month of revenue for the entire year. And that, so, extra money that I was thinking about saying yes to this job was not going to make up for what I was losing on the other end by taking my eyes off the prize and what was actually working in my business. And so, I had to have a tough conversation with my old boss and throttle back what I was actually could commit to and able to do. And I didn't actually walk away completely because, I also sort of want to be able to be in integrity and fulfill my commitments and everything. But I had to basically be like, look, you got to get someone that knows this tool cold. Like, I can't spend my time it's not worth you paying me my rate to be bad at this for a while. Right. It's just not working at it. And so I did that. And then, wouldn't you know it, like after having that conversation, after relieving some of the pressure there, like we had, I think, one of our best, if not our best month in December. And it's one of those things that I think you probably heard the Warren Buffett quote that it says the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything, right? And so this is one of those things where I think this is an example of that. And I said, like I was having success, but I said yes to this when it should have been a no. And a lot of times we will say yes to things that are great opportunities for us last year or the year before or 5 years ago, but we hold on to them. And that yes may actually be the thing that's stopping us from getting to where we're trying to go. All right. And so there's definitely a time for yeses in our careers, especially early on, or when you're getting established and when you're trying to get doors opened when there's no doors there. But I think once that vision is clear, and once you're on your way there, then it's going to be more about saying no to anything that isn't in complete alignment with your vision. And it's just something that I want to acknowledge that it's hard to do, but also that most of the rewards for what we get in this world is on the other end of something that's hard to do.